And hello all my fellow nerds out there, this is Orko Richie and welcome back once again to Danganronpa Lapse. So, last time we had a very major event happen. Pandora is dead. She she was killed via strangulation and we have no idea who did it. So we're investigating the crime scene to see if we can find anything of use. And as far as I can tell, we've talked to everyone, we've looked through the pool and everything. There's not much to go on. So hopefully we can probably find more things to help with the investigation. After investigating Pandora's body, I felt an exhaustion like none other. Never in my life did I think I would be experiencing something like this. The weight of the shock and melancholy of it all bore heavy on my shoulders. Is there nothing else we can do? I wonder, did anyone see anything else suspicious on their way over here? We all looked over at one another, but no one replied. Everyone was understandably on edge. Of course, no one wanted to talk. It appears we've exhausted all avenues of investigation here. Such a lackluster amount of clues doesn't bode well for us. Yes, but if we've done all we can looking into the scene, there's nothing left but to discover Pandora's killer. Of course, that's easier said than done. Ugh. I heard Cannon grumbling in the corner. She seemed distressed. Right, I think I'm giving you all enough leeway to get yourselves together. So it's time for the class trial. I hope you have enough ammunition to shoot down the culprit. If not, then I guess you're all out of luck. There's an elevator in the main foyer that will cruise you all down to the special class trial courtroom. If you do not assemble in the elevator quickly, send out a radio transmission that will release a ton of gas to your bracelets. If you want to find out who did it, right? You don't want your lives to end before you even have a chance to defend yourselves, right? All that and more will be available for your group in the courtroom. Now get a move on. Be seeing you shortly. The announcement went out as quickly as it came. So, this is really happening. The group shifted around anxiously. Well, what are we waiting for? I actually took the first strides out of the room, but not without giving Pandora one last somber look at the doorway. From the doorway, Forte gently eased Say awake, turning her gaze from the unsightly scene and helping her as she hobbled out. One by one, the others filtered out the spa lounge. I stood I stood back for a moment to take one last look at Pandora. Damn, she honestly did not deserve to die like that. We all stepped into the lounge elevator and began the dark descent into the supposed courtroom. The elevator sailed noiselessly towards our unknown destination for what felt like an eternity. Silently we stood. No one dared speak. A lump in my throat from the anxiety, the fear, the sadness. My stomach was knotted, my head dizzy, my heart aching. The spa lounge we were meant to investigate came short of any useful clues. We were only able to procure two traces of evidence, one fact of which was already stated simply by the victim report, and the other was a secret note that only a few were aware of. Nervous was an understatement. I would say a complete loss. The elevator door eventually slid to a standstill, shaking me from my thoughts. Oh no, they have her picture up! No! Oh. It's just like the actual game. The doors open to reveal a Rendevois point. A spacious dome-shaped room was topped with with a glass ceiling, a third of the foundation revealing a sunset sky outside of our confines. The walls themselves were barren and simple, a matte navy blue with a rim light illuminating the room. Hanging on a wall across across the way was a grim picture frame representing Pandora. Her profile had been crudely stricken with a violent pink X. The picture frame was positioned so that it was looking almost hauntingly over a circular group of podiums. It was a bleak place to think there was a dedicated location for wherever it was about to occur. Just where were we? Come, come one and all to the trial grounds. The stairs before you will be the key locale for today's trial. So let's see some hustle, people. The announcement was much more imposing in the courtroom, echoing through the dome chamber, each reverberation almost pushing us into place. We steadily settled and stood in silence. At the stands, we were placed in a circular fashion. Our faces, our fears, and our emotions were exposed to one another. The atmosphere thick with anxiety was palpable and crushing. I could feel my heavy heart pounding in my head. My palms are sweaty, yet I could feel a dreadful, eerie chill go up my spine. I tried to be strong, but my knees were weak, my breath short. We were here because of one unmistakable fact. Someone killed her. Pandora Espere, the ultimate baker. A gentle and caring person who wanted nothing more than to share her good spirit and delectable treats with the world. Ooh. Someone here was responsible for her death. And the only thing that kept me standing firm was to try to figure out who heartlessly ended her life. A light began to flicker weakly from the center of the circle stands. Huh? The flickering gained strength as a shape began to take form within the light. Something like the shape of a person began to appear. Whoa, what? Wait. Oh, come on. We're not getting Monokuma? I mean, this is a fan game, yeah, and I was kind of expecting Monokuma to make an appearance, but what? No, come on. That was a missed opportunity. But you know what? Whatever you want to do, I guess. I don't think I'm gonna continue with my Monokuma voice. It doesn't fit him. Welcome, one and all. Welcome to the courtroom. Who are you? What is that? Who am I? What is that? Answers to those questions don't matter too much. Besides, I think you ought to have more pressing questions, since something super bad has transpired. All you really need to know is that I'm your lovely judge for today's trial. Okay, maybe not the real certified judge or whatever, but I will be the one passing judgment on what happens today, after each subsequent murder has to come. Judge, but not really a judge, is too long confusing to address me as, so you may call me... Zero! A hologram of a person named Zero presented itself, giving a face to the voice of our Killing Games announcer. Okay, yeah. I'm definitely changing the voice. Class trial, all rise! Oh, this is actually going to be good. Without further ado, I take it you all know why you're here. Jeez, you're all a quiet bunch, huh? You're all here to suss out whodunit. In other words, you're all on trial to figure out who the culprit of today's heinous crime is. Do you think you could just get away with murder and win the prize? Nah, it's not that simple. The rules are as follows. Discuss, discover, and determine who the culprit is among your group. The majority vote will seal the individual's fate, and we'll just see what happens. From there, yeah? A few outcomes will occur. Determine the vote incorrectly, and the entire class is executed, with the culprit alone able to walk free and win the ultimate prize. That's the ideal endgame for the culprit. Determine and vote correctly, and the culprit alone will receive proper retribution and perish at the hands of your group's decision. Phew! You just might live to see another day. Our victim today is Pandora Espere, the ultimate baker. A young sweet lady who could do nothing wrong. Could she? Well, people can surprise you. So with that out of the way, get to talking. Who exactly are you? You're still asking, even though I just introduced myself all nice? You should have bigger concerns than that. Talk about the murder. I can't believe who did it isn't the top priority right now. Huh? No one wants to talk? Need I remind you your lives are kind of on the line? If none of you start talking, you'll all default to having lost a trial and you'll all be executed. You don't want that, do you? Executed? What does that mean? The dictionary definition of execute, to carry out a sentence of death. It's really quite simple. On one hand, it makes my job easier. I don't have to listen to bad deductions. On the other hand, I'd be terribly bored if this game didn't go past the first chapter. Break in the fourth wall? I don't know. Everyone, please, we need to discuss who could have possibly done the unthinkable. As trifling or even irrelevant as something may be, you have any concerns about the case, speak now. It's scary. Say, are you okay? Say, please don't push yourself. Yes, thank you. If he wants us all to talk, I'll talk. I'll talk about how scared I am. I just want to go home. I can't get used to anything around here. I don't know any of you people. And then someone gets killed? Uh, Say, I understand it's difficult, but discussing our friend's death is necessary to ensure that we don't find a similar fate to ourselves. At the very least, we can try to remember our last moments with her. That Zero is right. We don't want to go down without a fight, right? Why don't we begin with Pandora's last known whereabouts? The silence in the room was oppressive. A trial to defend ourselves? Why did I need to defend myself if I know for a fact that I would never kill her? Kill her. Regardless, no one knows where to start. Well then, I shall begin. Last I saw her, we were sharing a quiet breakfast. I can back that. The group was composed of Art, Echo, Missy, and Pandora, and myself in the dining hall from about 7:40 a.m. to 10 a.m. After that, we all kind of went our own way. I went around the mansion with Echo to talk to the others who weren't at breakfast. Who did we see again, Echo? Art doesn't recall the people. Canon, Forte, Missy, and Lyle. Oh, I actually don't remember myself either. Oh, wait, no. I remember we saw Say, Canon, Forte, and Lyle. I think that's the right one. Oh, yeah. Those people were Say, Canon, Forte, and Lyle. We asked them about their talents. That's right. But when we were touring the mansion, we met with those four and no one else. The only ones we didn't see after breakfast were Pandora and Ashley. I mean, we met with Pandora when we were talking to Kanan about, but she didn't stick around long. She said she had somewhere else to be and left to go to who knows where. So there's a period of time in which no one saw Pandora last. Is that correct? That window apparently being somewhere between 10 a.m. and approximately 4 p.m. Can anyone else provide their whereabouts to the approximate time frame? I was alone in the study for a good portion of the afternoon. I went to the theater at about 2:30 p.m. Oh, you must have left just before I went in. I went to the study at 3 p.m. I spent my time in my personal room. I wasn't in one place. I was investigating the mansion. Until 3, that is. I met up with Art for a little bit and eventually landed in a jazz club right before 4. I was regaling myself with the amenities in the theater for much of the afternoon. I was in my room too. After I had a meal with Art and Echo, I went back and didn't leave at all. I was in the atrium for a while. It looks like no one has any particularly strong alibi except Art and Echo, who can vouch for each other until 3 p.m. What does that mean? It means that since many of us were acting on our own for an extended period of time, our whereabouts can be heavily doubted. Anyone could have lied about their activity and instead set up some sort of trap to get rid of Pandora, since no one had saw each other. So we're all suspicious? It's difficult to narrow down who is potentially suspicious on these claims alone. Let's calm down and think thoroughly. Why don't we move to the topic of the forced motive question? The question along with the motivation music that was provided to push someone to commit a crime. We ought to figure out what about the question would have caused such distress. Forced motive question. A small group of us talked about it briefly this morning over breakfast, but ultimately we couldn't figure out the purpose of the question. Why don't we discuss the purpose now that everyone is present? Discussion commence. Ooh. Wait, is it the purpose of the first motive question? The question was, are your talents a true representation of who you are? Who are you beyond your talent? What could that mean? I should pay attention to the statements that might sound interesting. Wait, do we actually... A question to provoke killing? It makes no sense. How could a simple question make us do something as extreme as end someone's life? This morning we speculated that the sharing history behind our talents would only create a greater bond between us. Wait, oh, so this is similar to like the truth bullet shooting game of sorts. Greater bond? Echo, I believe you led our discussion this morning. You should be well versed in what everyone has to say and consensus we came to. That's right. We all shared our thoughts and agreed nothing we had said struck anyone as strange. Okay, so it's not okay. So when these things go yellow, I am to be inclined to agree with that conclusion. It only makes sense after all. But it's also possible that the tactic used to instill distrust and cause discord. Ooh, wait, that's different. What do you mean by distrust, Ash? Let's say someone didn't want to talk about their talent, despite the talent being something that's highly lauded. If someone wouldn't want to talk about such an unassuming topic, their resistance should be suspicious, right? Just because someone's talent is public knowledge, that doesn't necessarily mean that individual's life and practice behind it should be public as well. Ash, you kept your talent unknown to me for whatever reason. Are you saying you want me to believe you're suspicious? Of course not. How could you even say that? Did you ask someone about the forced motive question and not get an answer? No, I just didn't want to bother anyone with such a potentially loaded question. Is my talent a true representation of who I am? I never thought about my talent as a representation of me. It was simply a hobby that spiraled into something incredulous. I never would have thought racing would lead me to end up in such a strange mess. Sorry to press you so hard, Ash. Art asked me if I knew anything about your talent. I couldn't properly answer him. That said, I think this conversation eventually proved your point, that it could cause discord. There's contention even between us. That's all right. I'm sorry if I kept it a secret. If keeping it a secret hurt you, Echo. I didn't mean to tie you up in such complications. It's not so complicated. You're my friend. If anything hurts, it's the fact that I burdened you with this topic. Well, that's the purpose of discussion, isn't it? To bring ideas and theories to light? And I don't suppose I just performed an example of the question causing such an altercation. Consent. Oh! Discussion progress. Ooh. Then, best friends reconcile on their differences to sake of proving a point? Suppose every discussion has to start somewhere. Okay, as you were. Right. Thank you. Thank you for your bookend, Zero. In that case, what if the question posed was meant to make us look at Ultimate Student's talents as an ends justifies the means product? A mean justice fries served with that? The ends justifies the means. A saying in which a result is deemed so important that any method, morally good or bad, may be used to achieve it. In this case, I believe that Echo is saying is regardless how someone achieved such talent, such advanced talent, or what the person is like behind it is meaningless in the grand scheme of having the ultimate title. After all, didn't we all sign up for the preservation project knowing full well that we needed to bear an ultimate title? An ultimate title, precariously valuable title someone receives for super excelling in the field of expertise. But what does this possibly have to do with Pandora getting killed? There's no way anyone was like jealous of her talent or something, was there? Well, we were all strangers before meeting in this scary place anyway. I mean, Say kind of has a point. I fully want to believe that. I want to believe that we all got along well with her. We, we all got along with each other, in fact. Without the killing game pressure, I don't see how anyone could possibly harbor any ill will. Yeah, someone's gotta hate her. What? Ah, there's the good old Monokuma theme. But look, I'm gonna say this once. I don't think Zero's ever gonna be my favorite character. You may act like Monokuma, you may try to even sound like him, but you're not Monokuma. You are not him. You're not that guy, dude. God, I'm bored. You talk, you talking about anything interesting? You weren't talking about anything interesting, so I thought I'd throw you all a bone to get the ball rolling a little faster. Not a single person is going to be loved by everyone. It's just not possible. How could you say that? She did nothing wrong but show kindness and warmth towards everyone. Pandora would only ever want to share her good food with good friends. Yes, she always worked tirelessly to bring us together with her delicacies. La... Oh, good show, everyone. You're all such great actors. I guess it's been fun watching, but the discussion isn't really going anywhere. Oh, I'll just put an end to this now. The case, the trial, this whole elaborate ARG scheme. Lyle? It's all an act. The reason why there's so few clues is just a way to save resources. Imagine if the folks setting up the game had a bunch of fake blood to create the scene. Though I suppose for sake of entertainment, such systems exist to waste resources. Lyle, what are you talking about? Pandora isn't dead. She can't be. Nothing adds up. But I suppose if you want to keep playing, I'll say this. Let's think about who was at the scene first. If I recall correctly, it was Echo, wasn't it? Yeah, I saw Pandora's body first, then I called for help, which made Cyrus and Kana arrive shortly after. Okay, easy. The culprit is one of you three. What? On what grounds do you think you could speculate that? Pandora's supposed time of death was 4:05, right? I'll set the scene. We were just minding our own business in the mansion, not knowing what's to come. Soon, some nasty music starts playing, and one of you three starts getting stressed out, so you strangle the first person you see. How else could we narrow down the culprit? It has to be someone who was near the scene after 4 p.m. That person couldn't have gotten far after escaping the crime scene. In my opinion, the motivation to kill was la stress from music. To kill a loss. To kill a la stress. Okay, like via stress. I get it. Mostly to kill a la stress from music is kind of shoddy, right? Shoddy writing. But at least there was an attempt. Lau keeps going on about the killing game being an ARG. But her death seems so real. Huh? Wait, doesn't that mean everybody's alibis from earlier don't amount to anything? Bingo. I believe you all discussed your whereabouts approximately 3 p.m. latest, but no one said anything from then to 4 p.m. when the music started. Critical moment to consider is the time just before the murder occurred, obviously. If someone offered Pandora via acute strangulation, and made their getaway, it's not likely the culprit would have gone far from then and when Echo supposedly discovered the body. So, with the window of action narrowed down to between 4 and 4:05, does anyone care to share their newly updated whereabouts? Ooh. Where we all were in the approximate time around 4 p.m. leading up to the motivational music. If we follow through Lyle's speculation, we might glean in some information that will help us. After hanging out with Lyle, I went to the atrium. The music was blasting in there. Missy joined me in the theater after the music started. Okay. I thought fortunately I could go backstage and control the sound system, but our attempts were futile. I was in my room, hiding under covers. I told you, I was in the foyer leading up to the music. Were you? It was noisy, sure, but nothing I couldn't deal with. I was in the jazz club. I told Echo earlier that, as well, I was in the climbing center and saw no one suspicious dart past the open door. Like say, I was in my room too. Okay, so none of these seem to really help. After hanging out with Lyle, I went to the atrium. The music was blasting there. Okay. That honestly seems like it checks out. She joined me in the theater after the music started. I thought Forte and I could go backstage and control the sound system, but our attempts were futile. I was in the jazz club. Were you? Were you in the jazz club, buddy? Wait a minute, Lyle. I know for a fact that the jazz club is soundproof. That's right. I attempted to play the cello yesterday. You and Cyrus were just outside the jazz club in the hallway. Neither of you seemed to have any reaction when it came out shortly after. That means it's possible that Lyle is exempt from hearing the motivational music. Does it? I suppose you're onto something. I admit, I don't even know what the motivational music sounds like, but... Confluence! But nothing. That's an awfully precarious situation you put yourself in, Lyle. Sure, it's odd, but what's stranger still is how did Lyle know about the motivational music if he never heard it? Kiosks. Remember, they translate sound to text, but this time I saw only a message. It says something like preserving the atmosphere of the room. Discussion progress. Let's go. 0? What's up? You're the judge of this trial, but you're also the announcement operator outside these walls. I assume you can assist us with something clerical like this. Can you tell us what the kiosk message said in specific? Your current room is a special room that blocks all outside sound to preserve the atmosphere of the room. Please enjoy to your heart's content. I didn't write that, by the way. So you're saying we could have avoided the noise entirely? Too convenient? Wait a minute. In that case, what if Lyle is the one who killed Pandora? What? Didn't I just say it was the music that would have provoked someone to kill her? I was in the jazz club. I didn't even hear the music. Therefore, I wouldn't have felt the motivation to move. No, you could have killed her in the jazz club and moved her body to the spa lounge. That would explain the lack of clues in the spa lounge. This is troublesome. Did any of us investigate the jazz club afterwards? No. I was so shocked from seeing the body that I didn't even think about looking elsewhere. I think we all were just astonished as soon as we heard the body discovery chime. So perhaps Lyle counted on the fact that I did in fact kill her in the jazz club. He doesn't have an alibi for a large portion of the afternoon anyway. Say something like scouring the mansion for clues. He could have spent the whole day unsupervised plotting the terrible thing that ended Pandora's life. Hey, haven't you heard the phrase extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence? Well, that's not out of the question. After all, the ultimate puzzle master could have set up something elaborate, so elaborate that the answers to this murder puzzle goes way over our heads. That can't be possible. I was in the climbing center, which was between the spa lounge and the jazz club. If Lyle committed a crime in the jazz club, I would have been, I would have been, I would have been plainly witness to the change of scene. You were you very well could have constructed that alibi to assist Lyle in his dark activity. Now, why on earth would I lie about such a thing? Settle down. Yelling at each other with hypotheticals isn't getting us anywhere. Agreed. If it will quell Saiyan Forte's worries, let's tackle their initial theory and go from there. Saiyan Forte wrapped up in the possibility of Lyle killing Pandora in the jazz club. Is it worth discussing? I actually don't know. I feel like it is worth discussing. Because if it gets us anywhere closer to who did it, just to be safe, we shouldn't leave anything to doubt. If Lyle isn't the culprit, then he shouldn't have any problem clearing the air. Are you kidding me? Fine. What would my motive for killing her be? I didn't hear the motivational music, so that's out the question. I didn't speak to her about the forced motive question since I haven't seen her all afternoon. So tell me, based on my lack of time around Pandora, do I even have any clear reason to get rid of her? Ack. Oh my stars, you all are so bad at this. But I'll tell you for a certain that nothing happened in the jazz club. Huh? And I'm telling you this because you were all just awful at this whole trial thing. Ha! Jeez, I guess this is what happens when there's no ultimate detective around, huh? Dude, where's my boy Shuichi, dude? Your ultimate photographer is so quiet. She's all but dropped dead at this point. Ack, if she did drop dead, you'd have to go through another trial, and I don't think I have the patience to watch you run circles at this rate. Alright, since this is clearly going nowhere, allow me to throw you a bone. There's something strange about that note in the spa pool, don't you think? Lyle very conveniently managed to redirect the conversation from the piece of evidence in the scene. Ah, I'll let you all think for yourselves. The note. The note must have to do with Pandora's murder, but what? Dude, you've seen the note. She's literally showed you. Literally one or two chapters ago. A certain Art and Lyle know something about it, since Lyle brought it up with us, but hello? What's with all the dead air? I don't want to talk anymore? You don't want everyone to die without giving the trial your best shot, do you? Like, are any of you even trying to save yourselves? Maybe I should stop giving you these opportunities. The courtroom fell silent. It seems we all neglected the gravity of the situation, or rather, we were avoiding it. It's just, nothing felt real. Pandora's death, her body hardly showed any signs of injury. It was like she was asleep. It's as if we all wanted to forget the reality of the topic at hand, which was that someone had killed our friend. We kept dodging and darting around the main issue. Yes, as painful as it is, we must discuss the murder. It it may seem hopeless at the moment, since we don't have much information to work with, but clues will reveal themselves as we bring out about certain topics to light. So don't hold your tongue. We must do this to save ourselves. Then I'll start with her cause of death. From there, it'll probably be easier to reason out potential culprits. According to the Monokuma file, it was strangulation. Can we identify that she was strangled? What she was strangled with? Ugh, can't read today. We also touch up on the possibilities. It may be difficult to think about, but no one said such a fight would be easy. Oh, here we go. What was Pandora strangled with? Is there something we're missing? I was thinking it might have been a rope from the climbing center. It's horrifying to think about, but Perhaps the culprit used their own hands. Let us narrow our thoughts and eliminate things that would be unlikely. We also ought to think about what in the spa lounge could be used. What would Pandora strangle with? I feel like that comes into question. I feel like the spa lounge comes into question, to be honest, because there's nothing in the spa lounge to strangle with. What in the spa lounge could be used? If we consider the following. The climbing center and jazz club were occupied by one person each. Neither of the occupants saw anything else during the stay. Killing occurred soon after 4 p.m. music, so it's likely the culprit could have only used whatever was available in the location. What if anything, could be used? Think. Wait, what is the murder weapon? Oh, wait a minute. So it's something on her body? Okay, wait. It couldn't be her own ponytail. That wouldn't make any sense. Oh! Oh, wait. Okay, that's clever. I thought the towel was just there for decoration. Could it be? Echo, are you onto something? I think so. You brought up a good line of thought that made me rethink the scenario. I recall seeing something that might answer our question. Consent. I believe the culprit may have used a towel to strangle her. It's an unassuming object, isn't it? Of course, there are going to be towels in the spa lounge. So the culprit took advantage of the location and utilized the tools available. The tool being the very towel she was resting her head on. Then he must have strangled her by wrapping the towel around her neck and pulling until she stopped struggling. And breathing altogether. It would explain the lack of fingernails dug in, as well as explain why I didn't see anyone near the climbing center in the event rope was used. It might just be conjecture, but it's the best thing we have so far. But there's something's bothering me, if I may. What I don't get is, why was Pandora seemingly so relaxed in the spa when she was reclined and there weren't any signs of a struggle in the whole room? There must have been obnoxious music playing in the spa too, so I doubt she would have stayed. It's strange indeed. I certainly couldn't concentrate on the climbing grips once it started. The music was so annoying. I don't know how it was playing until I was out. I didn't know it was playing until I was outside. More importantly, Echo, did you bonk your head or something? The spa lounge is soundproof. Huh? Well, I guess that makes sense since I threw the door open upon entering. Hang on, what? The lounge is soundproof? Whoops, was that not common knowledge? Hold it, explain yourself. Does that have any relevance to the trial? If the spa lounge is soundproof, and the motivational music was playing throughout the rest of the mansion, whoever was in the spa lounge of Pandora must not have been aware of the music. Zero, I noticed in your kiosk message you didn't specify which room was soundproof. It simply said your current room is a special room. Is that correct? I said I didn't write that. But, yes, guess it did say that, didn't it? Fine, yes, all second floor rooms are soundproof. Happy? All second floor rooms? In that case, Pandora would have been completely relaxed and unaware of the motivational music when it started at 4 p.m. Wait, that's right! Well, not the atrium, but it's more of a giant hall than a room. No closed doors or anything, you know. I wasn't aware. I left the climbing center's doors open during my stay. So it's not just the jazz club. We probably assumed the jazz club alone was soundproof because people performed in there. Now it has been revealed that Pandora was willingly in the spa lounge and relaxed and completely unaware of the music presumably far before it started playing in the first place. And even when it did begin, we would have been undistributed by it, or undisturbed by it, due to the soundproof quality of the spa lounge. Just a minute. That means the motivational music had nothing to do with provoking someone to kill her. What? Echo, you have an idea of what provoked the person, didn't you? Don't you? I. You have that look on your face since this afternoon. It's the note, isn't it? You've seen it before. In fact, you saw if someone brought. You saw it before. You saw it before I brought it up with you and Art. Finally, talking about the note. Yes, I've seen it before. Pandora herself showed it to me last night. Pandora? How did she see it? Lyle said it was the announcement special gift from this morning. Ah, lied about it.
Trial 1,
Oh,
0.
whoops.
Self-voicing
Whoops.
disabled.
I didn't even know this game had self-voicing. It's the V key. Why does everything has self-voicing? I don't want to. I like to voice the characters myself. Thank you very much. There was no special gift. If someone did show up, I was just going to call them a chump personally. I'm actually also perplexed as to where that came from. Although, maybe I shouldn't complain. The note has made things very interesting. What is this note you're talking about? Remember that scrap of paper we saw in the spa pool? Yes, it was soaked beyond legibility. That's the note we're talking about, namely a note to be kept in secrecy. I remember it said you recognized one of the symbols depicted, then you have finally found me in our safe. Please do not speak of this note's existence. Trust no one but yourself. It had two emblems on it, as the note references, and I saw one of those emblems on a shred of wet paper in the spa pool. Pandora was in possession of such a dangerous, suspicious thing. The culprit must have saw that she had the note on hand and threw it in the pool to soak and destroy it. They were probably afraid of the ramifications of protecting the recipient and what effect it could have on the rest of the killing game. They probably thought that whoever is in possession of the note must be linked to the game itself. Then wouldn't the culprit be one of those few people who knew the note's existence? That's right. She reacted when Zero first mentioned it. Say? You reacted when Zero mentioned the note earlier. Have you seen the note before? I, I, oh, come on. Don't let it be Say. Say it ain't so. I've never seen it. I see. But how could that be? Lyle said he saw Say go into the pantry, and after she left, he saw the note. Before this trial, the only ones who could have seen it were Say, Lyle, Echo, and me, right? If the atrium special gift was a lie, then what's with the secret note being in the pantry earlier this afternoon? I imagine Pandora herself must have left it there, seeing as she was utilizing the ingredients in the pantry to make breakfast this morning. She just left it there? Then why is there a similar note in the spa's pool? She couldn't have left it out in her possession if it's supposedly a note to be kept in secrecy. Wait a minute, then there are two notes? But we still don't know where those notes came from in the first place. Ah! None of these random details are making any sense! I'm also having a hard time sorting out this relevant information. Indeed, it's becoming difficult to define what is truth, what happened when, and why things are as they are. Can't we try to lay down a timeline of events? That could clear our heads and straighten things out if anything. A timeline of events? Yes, I think that could help. I noticed a handful of discrepancies that could use clearing up. Perhaps I ought to take the events back at last night when Pandora showed me the secret note.
Self-voicing in
I keep pressing the V button. My bad. The notes seemed to be the biggest complication. Pandora pulled me aside to show me the secret note Oh, I was supposed to remember. Was I supposed to remember that? Wasn't it 9 p.m.? No, the lights were started to dim during our conversation. Dimming lights indicates nighttime, which isn't 9 p.m. Oh, 10 p.m. That's it. Oh, he has a little nodding animation. That's cool. Yes, it was 10 p.m. I remember the lights started to dim during our conversation, indicating the start of nighttime. The following morning, which was earlier today, we can assume Pandora must have been up earlier than everyone else and began preparing breakfast for us. A small group of us had breakfast and conversation started about the force motive question, which rang in at 9 a.m. That's right. The force motive question announcement rang at 9 a.m. We briefly touched on the topic, but ultimately didn't feel any motivation to conduct any sort of killing, likely to the charge into the announcer. Afterwards, I had planned to go back to my room, but Art stopped me and we went around asking the others about the question. We were occupied asking about it until 3 p.m. Yes, that's it. Just before 3, Art and I ran into Lyle as he was going to his room. We talked to him a little bit about the question, but he had little to say about the matter. During our conversation, he brought to our attention the secret note, the same secret note Pandora had the night before. Lyle claimed that someone had left the note in pantry, right? That's right. And the person who was last in the pantry before him was Pandora? No, it was Sei. That's it. Lyle claims he saw Sei scurry from the second floor atrium to the pantry and back out again. After Lyle showed us the disarmed door and the secret note, Art and Lyle went off on their own and went to the study at 3 p.m. While I was in the study, another announcement rang in and started playing some of that jarring motivational music that once again attempted to start the killing. The motion began at 4 p.m. That's right. I called the announcer saying the time. I ran out of the study in a panic, trying to find any of their students. From the atrium, I saw a shadowy figure at the top of the stairs. I followed them but lost track of them, which instead led me to discover Pandora's body. If only I was able to keep up with the shadowy figure, perhaps this trial would have been over sooner. But it's strange. I couldn't seem to add anything up despite how much we knew. Or rather, perhaps there was some other unforeseen force factored in that contributed to Pandora getting killed. There had to be something missing. I felt an uneasy anticipation tugging at me, something willing me to continue the pursuit of whatever force caused this mess. I had to try. Uncovering the truth was more difficult than I thought, but Pandora would tell me not to give up. I had to try to narrow down where the strange factor's weak point was. I thought about the scenario from the starting point where the note was revealed, since it was a topic of concentration. Of contention, my bad. Perhaps I ought to think backwards from Pandora's death to see if there's any holes. Pandora was killed in the spa lounge. True. Yes, there wasn't any signs of her body being moved. Before she was killed, Pandora was speculated to stay in the spa lounge. Relaxed? She was relaxed? We were able to assume she was locked in the spa lounge because the lounge is soundproof. She never heard the music. We learned that spa lounge is soundproof qualities. If Pandora was in there with the door closed, she would likely not have been disturbed. Wait a minute! When I first entered the spa lounge, I was initially under the impression that there was more motivational music playing within. Little did I know, it was only playing the music because I had thrown the door open, ruining the soundproof quality of the room. However, someone noted that they were unaware of the music until they moved from one area to the next. The fact that the client center and the jazz club were already occupied, neither Cyrus nor Lyle claimed that they were with company. This person could have left the only remaining room that shared the soundproof quality of the two. Why was Pandora seemingly so relaxed in the spa? She was reclined and there weren't any signs of a struggle in the whole room. There must have been obnoxious music playing in the spa too, so I doubt she would have stayed. Strange indeed. I certainly couldn't concentrate on the climbing grips once it started. The music's so annoying. I didn't know it was playing until I was outside. More importantly, Echo, did you bonk your head or something? The spa lounge is soundproof. There it is. Who was behind the spa lounge motivational music discrepancy? Ooh. The only one I can probably think of is Cyrus, because the door was open. Because the door was open, so it ruined the soundproof quality of the room, right? It can't be Zero because he's not in the area. It was Cyrus Syrup. Cyrus was in the climbing center where he left the door open, and therefore unaware that all the second floor rooms were soundproof. Who was behind? Oh! The motivation discrepancy? Wait! No, come on. Don't tell me it's Say, because Say said she was on in her personal room. And Zero said that all second floor rooms are soundproof. He never said the first floor rooms were. Oh no, Say didn't say anything about the music. Oh, okay, so it's not Say. All right. It's Art, isn't it? No, don't let it be Art, dude. No, it can't be. By making a remark of the change between locations, the culprit could have only been in the spa lounge before the motivational music. By that logic, the culprit must have shared the room with the victim. Art must have been in the spa lounge with Pandora before she died. Yeah, that probably could have been a really good thumbnail. Everyone, I think I have the full picture. What was with you? You were totally spaced out for a second. Be quiet, you. Oh, yes, ma'am. Echo, was there something we were missing? Yeah, I think something might have slipped right under us. We've been looking at this under the guise of the motivational music had everything to do with the murder. However, there's a discrepancy in that thinking. Pandora was never exposed to it, yet she wound up the victim to the effects of it. As we discussed and discovered, all second floor rooms are soundproof from outside noise when the door is closed. Case in point, Cyrus leaving the climbing center's door open and Lyle undisturbed in the jazz club. But then I noticed someone said something strange. They mentioned they weren't aware of the music either. That is until they exited a presumably soundproof room. Neither Cyrus nor Lyle have encountered anyone during their stay. So by process of elimination, the only room this person could have exited would be the spa lounge. I don't know if anyone else picked up on it, but I think I know who the culprit is. Art. Did you kill Pandora? Art? What? Hang on! Can't be! Please, yield. Echo this thought of yours. It's awfully bold of you to point fingers at someone so conclusively. Well, it's the only shred of an idea, but it's the only piece that fits. If we put the timeline together beginning from where Art and I separated at 3 p.m., it's not unreasonable to assume that this crime was conducted during a smaller window after Art and Lyle separated and before the motivational music. It's been stated I didn't get to read that? Hello? Oh, I didn't... Oh, auto was on. That was the reason. Is it possible? Oh, wait, no, that's not the reason. Auto was off. Can I not scroll back? Oh, I can't. Wait, hold up a second. Okay, wait, L goes to the log. Okay, that makes sense. It's been stated several times that Lyle was by himself in the jazz club, so given the circumstance, what? You're all just gonna listen to that tiny impossible statement? Art, say something. Don't let them tell you what's what. It's nonsense. What? In fact, he was with me in the jazz club until 4 p.m. Yeah, isn't that right? Lyle, you must know that we are beyond the veil of smoke and mirrors at this point. What are you implying? It's far too late for you to defend him. If you two were together, it would have been mentioned ages ago. That shadow I saw ran past the top of the stairs. It must have been Art, fleeing the spa lounge towards the atrium. He must not have known that there was distressing music playing outside the spa. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let slip that he noticed the shift in music when leaving the spa after the fact. Lyle, please think about the events in your head. As much as I hate to admit it, there's only one answer I can think of. Even though this is all speculative, I want nothing more than not to believe it. This is the only ammunition we have. We're your friends, aren't we? Please, if we're wrong, just tell us we're wrong. If this is all untrue, we can put this debacle behind us. Echo, do you remember what I told you when you asked me about the forced motive question? Yeah? I recall you said you like playing golf, but you haven't expanded your interest outside of golfing. Yeah. It's because they would never let me. It's a terrible existence, being the ultimate golfer for them. All day I stand around in the sun, listening to jerks pitch false interests and crummy business ideas at each other. I'm not playing golf. I'm just there to look good while the suits are off playing corporate deception and back scratching. They made me hate golf. So that motive question, it made me think about what I was doing. I wasn't having fun anymore, you know? Even though I'm great at it. I'm the ultimate golfer. Even if that's the case, I didn't feel like me anymore. It's weird. I had more fun here, hanging out with everyone, not indulging in my talent, even though it was the thing that landed me here in the first place. Kept thinking about that. I kept thinking about the FMQ, about how I hate this part of me that blessed me with an opportunity to hang out with all of you fun people. Before I knew it, I wandered into the spa lounge for some peace and quiet and thought no one was in there. But Pandora was there, quiet as a mouse. I didn't even notice her until I sat right next to her. She was so nice. Good afternoon, Art. Care to join me? Sure thing. Are you alright? I didn't scare you, did I? Oh, no, I just didn't notice you came in. You know how it is. Head is somewhere else and all. I see. Oh, Art, may I ask you something? What's up? I believe I heard about you influencing a merger between yours and Lyle's school. Am I correct? Yeah, that was a while ago. That's such an amazing accomplishment. I I could only I could only wish to achieve something as half as grand as that. Oh, it's nothing. I hardly remember it. If you insist, it's nothing. It's nothing to sneeze at either. I'm sure the students of both schools have benefited greatly from the feat. Yeah, probably, but I wouldn't know. I only went to school for a year before I was pulled out of focus on golfing. Pulled out to focus on golfing. I have a private tutor to cover the difference. Oh, that's quite a generous offer. I hope you can use your talents and position to help more people. I don't know if it's such a big deal. Faith in you, Art. In fact, I believe all of us have the ability to influence beneficial change like that if we're given the opportunity. Ultimate students, we have the power and passion to influence in our hands, just like them. I hope we all use the good of the all use it for the good of the future. I know we will. Yes, at last I finally found them. I didn't know what to say. Power of passion, influencing change isn't as rosy as she chalks up to be. The only thing that that made my talent ever got me was trapped. I used to golf all the time with my grandfather before he passed away. After that, I was taken in by some company that would take care of me. 3 square meals and a comfortable place to live. I always played games, perfect but boring, day in and day out. It was the same thing. I thought I was there to show my skill, but every game was just an outside business conference. Eventually, I honed my skills enough to hit a hole-in-one no matter what. I played short games. No one would ever care to watch. But I ace it, and they love it. I whiff it, and they eat it up. At that point, they didn't care what I did. Using my talent for the good of the future? What about my future? I didn't want to stay with that group of the rest of my life. I thought escaping to the preservation project would finally free me from this imprisonment. But everything's all messed up. When Pandora closed her eyes, I felt a burning. She said she found them. Who was she talking about? It was obvious, right? I didn't know what to say. I just took the note she had and threw it in the pool. I wanted to go away. Then everything happened in slow motion. It was like my body had moved on its own. My head was ringing, my hands narrowed onto the towel around on her shoulders, and everything was red. It was like there was a fire in my head. When I heard her gasp, my arms were tense, and eventually, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lyle. I was just trying to have fun with you earlier. Huh? My good-for-nothing talent made me despise golf. I've never had fun with it since people discovered they could use me for their business deals. Running around with you, figuring out a big puzzle was the most genuine fun I've had in a while. Thanks, Lyle. What the? No way, no way! This isn't real! You're just part of the fake game, right? You didn't kill anyone! You're an actor! Tell me you're an actor and that the whole story was fake! Or tell me this isn't real! It was miserable. Like all of us, Lyle was struggling to come to terms with the fact that art, of all people... Lyle! Is this the truth? We have a shred of evidence to go with a confession. I don't know if I can point out a culprit based on such little proof. Missy, you want to keep discussing even after his piteous confession? I'm able to have my doubts, am I not? I can't accept it. I'm sure the rest of you are also having trouble just the same. Doubting is the only thing keeping me from fully realizing the weight of the lofty, impossible to swallow truth. If I can doubt, I can cling to the possibility that art not committing such a horrible crime. Missy, you're deluding yourself with false hope. Just like the unfortunately misguided Lyle. Such thinking is unsustainable. There's no need for doubt. Hannon? I have definitive proof. He took a snapshot of him. Hannon? It was a small but it was unmistakable. Art was seated at the base of the atrium centerpiece globe with his head in his hands. The photo looked to be a shot from the second floor entryway. That means the shadowy figure I saw that was me, following Art as he fled from the spa lounge. Huh? I was in the foyer, remember? So when I saw Art emerge from the spa lounge, I went to tail him, following him as far as the entrance to the atrium. Then I heard you shout for help. I did an about face. Little did I know I would stumble upon the very thing he was running from. What the heck is this? Kenan sure is a weird photographer. So, does that settle your doubt, Missy? But why wait to reveal such damning evidence? You think I want his blood in my hands? If I presented this photograph, we knew the culprit for certain thanks to me. Because I'm always unlucky enough to be in the wrong place at the right time. I don't want to bear the weight of my conscience. I know it's selfish, but take it or leave it. Then I suppose it's settled. If we can agree this is unquestionably the truth, there is no room for doubt. It seems we've all come to a consensus. In that case, it's voting time! This is the final phase of the class trial. Vote for who you think the culprit is. After all that jabbering, you'd want to have a solid answer. Don't let any of that sentimental doubt or faith of whatever keep you from saving yourselves. It's voting time! Oh, shit. I actually have to vote? Oh, I can't even choose anyone else. I can only choose Art. Dude, this sucks. This sucks so badly. I'm sorry, Art. We get a little animation? With sprites? Oh. Yikes. Guilty. And we have a winner! The culprit responsible for the murder of Pandora Espere is none other than the ultimate golfer, Arturo Campopiano. Oof, took long enough. Let's try to do better next time, alright? But for now, it's time for the grand finale. You've reached your exciting destination at the end of the first class trial. That destination being punishment time! Class trial adjourned. Punishment time? Well, yeah, eye for an eye, right? He was caught. Too bad. Recap Rule 5. To expedite the process towards ultimate prize, one must kill a fellow student without getting caught. Oh, but what happened when they do get caught? Recap trial rules. Determine and vote correctly, and the culprit alone will receive proper retribution and perish at the hands of the group decision. It's bizarre. If it weren't for Echo conveniently specific memory and Ken's terrible luck pulling her to witness him, might have gotten away. Do you have anything to say for yourself, Arturo Campompiano? This was the preservation project wanted, isn't it? To kill and live on, to prove your strength above other ultimates? What? You think you're going to live on? Whoops. You clearly don't have an emotional constitution to carry people's future. What? No. You let your fears and anxiety you like until you broke. Stop. Why, I'm shocked Pandora didn't live. Please. She lost to you. A weak, vulnerable, pathetic. I couldn't bear to hear anymore. That's enough! A silvery voice rose from somewhere in the room. That voice, it was the other announcer. That voice welcomed us to this place. Was here? Zero, stop this at once. Oh, you. I believe I got rid of you, but it seems that you still came back. So weird. See what I did there, Eve? Eve. Students revealed the culprit. Was that not sufficiently entertaining enough for you? Yeah, they sure did do their thing, but geez, it'd take a while. All right, fine. His face was just so rich with despair. I couldn't help it. It was fun for you too, right? Stop this. Fine, fine. I'll get on with it. Goodbye, Arturo Campapiano, the ultimate golfer. Your execution awaits, and so it goes. Zero's hologram warped out a huge rumbling sound tore through the room. Something was coming. Wait, are they actually gonna animate an animation? Are they actually gonna have an animation for his punishment? Oh Christ! The courtroom floor rumbled beneath us. One of the trial grounds walls slid open, revealing a dark pit beyond the walls. From within a golf cart came shrieking out, drifting in and circling our stands to stop squarely behind Art. Mechanized arms are swept Art off his feet, pulling him into the cart that had harshly stopped for a second, before peeling back into the darkness where it came from. Art became sequestered from us. All we could do is watch with horror as his fate was projected on the screen in the middle of the trial grounds. Oh, they're not gonna have an animation. It's just gonna be stills. To be honest, that's kind of boring. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do. Art was tossed unceremoniously into what appeared to be a sand bunker in the middle of the giant miniature golf course. In a daze, he rose coughing up sand and meeting the gaze of a Kish bear statue holding a raised driver. The bear twitched, its metal body grow warily as the arms shook to life. Wait, there is a Monokuma in this? A swing tunneled through the air. Art gasped. Oh, God. Arturo Campion, Ultimate Golfer. Execution by extreme hazard. Jesus. We don't even get any animation of it? Jeez. I was actually kind of hoping for an animation, but you know what? It's fine. Phew, that was worth the wait, I think. And it's funny. He hated golf, but little did he know all those business deals he sat in on. Those deals were the ones that brought in funding for the preservation project, the very thing he wanted to escape to. He thought he could fly away, but it turns out that his influence was unescapable. Life sure is cruel, isn't it? It was horrifying. A disgusting display mocking Art's ultimate title ended his life. He hated his talent, and his last moments it was all he saw. We all stood completely and utterly shocked. No one said a word. No one moved a muscle. An unmistakable sinking feeling froze over us. Despair. Ha! In return for entertaining me, you answer one question that's been drilling in your minds. Where are we? This isn't the preservation project at all, is it? Oh. Oh, hold up, log. I said only one question. The courtroom resides in a Monokuma superstructure. Remember those earthquakes? Those aren't going to bother us thanks to civil engineering. The wonders of modern technology never cease, huh? So cool. I hope that satisfied your curiosity. Oh, certainly did not, you cad! Zero! That silvery voice spoke once more. You are a reaper of despair. Whatever you do is in futility and provides no benefit to anyone. No benefit to anyone except you and your horrible Schadenfreude. Do not think for a moment you've won. I'll continue to fight back, even after what you've done to me. A silver light remains. Echo Pine. Huh? You've received the title of Ultimate Memory. That's what he is? Memory? What is that? We have a tactician, photographer, and silly puzzle master. Good memory for their skills is already required, wouldn't you think? I won't even humor you with this one. The talent isn't even comparable to something remotely useful ultimate analytical prowess, like that one pathetic girl. Come on, really given up trying, haven't you? It's no fun at having any competition. Fine. You think that you give these people hope? P6, your queen is in trouble. I have little information neither you nor the students would like. Cyrus Cyric is someone to be wary of. He isn't who he says he is. He's not a normal Ultimate student like the rest of you. He's much more involved in this game than you think. Ultimate Charisma. Is a terrible cover talent. You're all truly clueless if you believe that. Zero, stop. You've meddled enough. What? And you haven't? I've been given this power for a reason, you know, and I'm going to use it as I please. This isn't the answer. Whatever. Courtroom is closed. These losers can marinate in despair for a night, but tomorrow we'll get it going again. Zero. Shut up. I'm tired of your poor, useless attempts of creating hope. You'll never win. You're a failure. With that, I'll display those two holograms cut out. What? just happened? I was on the verge of tears. My whole body shook violently. Ugh. There was a weight at the bottom of my heart, dragging my whole body down. I felt like my head was going to split. Becoming trapped in a strange luxury mansion where I seemingly didn't belong. Stuck with a group of revered students who with a so-called ultimate talent. Getting involved up in the class trial where we had to investigate someone killing someone else. Concluding with gruesome execution as if everything else wasn't enough. Why was this happening? I wanted to go to bed. For a long, long, long time. Ease. Before I knew it, my limp body dove to the floor. I keeled over. My heavy eyes closed wearily and allowed myself to sink into a velvety darkness. Chapter end. 8 students remain. Shit, man. That was rough. Chapter 2, unknown. Alright, I think that would be a good place to stop for now. Jeez. Okay, honestly, that was a lot to take in. This may be probably a much longer episode than I initially intended, but oh boy, that was a lot. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave this video here for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe, click the bell so you miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.
You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a